John Abraham, Bailey Lowery, 256-576-4977. This is the Morning Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to a tipsy Tuesday in no man's land. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, the Bandyman, Bailey Lowery, as always. 2 hours straight of sports talk here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as 1 hour over on ESPN Winchester. And we appreciate everybody for listening to this show as we get into all of the fun stuff that's carrying over from yesterday into today, whether it's more of the playoff conversation as we got to see the Rams and the Vikings face off in Phoenix, which is kind of weird to think about.
Certainly a word for it.
It's not a Super Bowl, but they were playing in Phoenix, and on top of that, Jason might have an idea around that Rams team because they looked really good, not just on offense, but on defense as well, as they won 27-9. Definitely a huge game for LA, especially with everything that's going on in California right now. That's something that can at least put a smile on some people's faces, so definitely good to see that win. And for the Vikings, where do you think Sam Darnold's going? I mean, this is a team that only lost 3 games.
Not to the bank.
Yeah, hug your local Vikings fans.
Yeah.
3 games they've lost during the regular season just to lose in the first round. And I feel like out of all the teams, it was going to be either the Buccaneers or the Vikings that would lose in this first round.
But, John, I got a trivia question for you.
What you got for me, boy?
No, Joe's not qualified for this because I already told him.
Yeah, he and I talked about this a minute ago.
Yeah, I already told him about this.
Why do I always get the trivia
So the Vikings had 3 losses on the year going into it, 4th loss out of the playoffs, but they only lost to 2 teams.
Okay.
What were those 2 teams?
What were those 2 teams? Well, if they lost, okay, so I got to think their division right now.
They only lost to 2 teams the entire year.
Right out the gate, Bandy. I'm still waking up. 2 teams.
It's 9
on the
a.m.
year. I know. I'm gonna say did they play the Chiefs this season? Probably not.
Chiefs not one of them.
Here's what's bad about this.
Packers
Is
twice.
really, if you just sit here and think about
Wait,
it just for a
right,
millisecond, it
right.
should be very easy.
Look, I'm still waking up. I can get the opening of the show in here by the second segment, and then I'm finally starting to feel it a little bit. All right. So,
got Fleming
Lions. Lions beat them twice.
Yes.
Okay, and then the Packers. Did the Packers beat them?
He only lost to 2 teams this
year.
whole season,
All year.
and you just named one of them being the Lions.
Okay, then the Rams. All right,
Yeah.
the Rams.
The Lions and the Rams.
There you go. So they've lost 4 games to 2 teams now across the entire
I was like,
season.
think about this. They've only lost to 2 teams, and they lost to 2 different teams in the last 2 weeks.
I remember the last time they faced off against L.A., it was during a little bit of that primetime football. We got the Sam Darnold face mask in the end zone. Everybody was a little upset about it. So I understand now where you're coming from. I was looking at you through the glass, Bandy. I was like, is this the Riddler? I was like, bro, I can't answer this question right now. But you know what? That's a good way to get my mind started. As we also have a lot of things started tonight, like some college basketball in the SEC. We get Alabama facing off against Ole Miss, which should be a heck of a game. You're going to be able to listen to that on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And on top of that, more college basketball to come over on Talk Radio WZZN as Illinois faces off against Indiana. That's right. You're going to be able to listen to that game here locally in Huntsville if you are interested in those 2 teams. And for me and Joe, we are very much excited for something that's going on at the VBC tonight. No, it's not the Huntsville Boat Show because that starts, I think, tomorrow or the day after that. It's the Havoc Hour.
Yeah, no, it's a very special Havoc Hour that we got asked this question last week while we were at Zambrewski's about tonight's show because tonight is the Havoc Player Skills Competition that is taking place at the VBC, and it is only for season ticket holders. So, you can't just walk up and get a ticket to this thing tonight. So the only way to get into this is to be a season ticket holder. And so what's going to happen is you are going to have a competition from all of the players between 6 and 7 o'clock tonight. And then from 7 to 8 o'clock tonight is really going to be opportunities for you to get autograph signings, to kind of talk to some of the players, to kind of hang out with them and all that, the fans and stuff. So tonight we have said, okay, well, wait a second. If we do this thing at Zambrewski's and we're supposed to be having coaches and players there, but there's no coaches and players that are available because they're all over at the VBC, then why don't we just do this at the VBC?
Yeah.
So yesterday, Moulton and I went around and we wanted to kind of scout out a location, trying to figure out what the best place would be for us to be able to kind of pull this off, where Havoc fans can not only watch the team, but do and participate in the skills competition, but also still be able to have the Havoc Hour. So they're going to be able to like sit in the seats up in the stands as they normally do for the games, and they can have the Havoc Hour like on their phones, or they can be having them in their earbuds, or, you know, obviously if you're close enough to us, you can literally just hear us, because we are going to be broadcasting live, not just from the VBC and Probst Arena. We are going to be on the bench during this show.
That's going to be so fun.
We have no clue at who we're going to be talking to because the whole team is available. I have also been told that between the blue lines and the neutral zone, there should not be any pucks flying at any rapid speed that we may have to be worried about. Mainly because I think our backs are actually going to be to the ice.
That would be devastating to get hit by a stray puck.
Yeah. So I don't know if we got to get like Robo over in front of us, kind of like, you know, whenever we played baseball at UAH, and we used to play at Joe Davis, because Joe Davis's bullpen was in the foul territory. They didn't have like a spot for it. We always had somebody that was kind of standing behind the pitchers to watch out for the batters when they're swinging, because they can't see behind them. We may have to have a guy like that.
Look, we might need to actually figure something out with that.
Look,
Can you not just be facing the ice, and then during the breaks maybe we
No.
go towards like have a
Because
camera
look,
on it?
here's going to be the coolest thing about this is as we're doing the Havoc Hour tonight, if we were facing the ice, all you would see behind us would be the glass,
Some of the
a few
fans?
fans behind us,
Come on now.
and that's it. But if we have our backs to the ice, you can actually see the competition going on as we're talking at the same time. So I don't know how this is going to work. I know that I've been told about, you're obviously going to have a shots competition. I've been told something about dodgeball.
Ooh,
I don't
on
know
ice.
how this is
Dodgeball.
going to work, but I've been told something about dodgeball.
Okay.
So we're going to figure out how we're going to be doing this tonight. It's definitely going to be different than any other Havoc Hour that we do, mainly because at any point in time, any one of the players can just skate up and start talking to us.
Yeah.
So, you know, we don't know who's going to be hopping on. So we can't just say, oh, hey, you know, Austin Alger's going to be with us like he was last week, or we're going to say Benito Posa's going to be with us. We can't say any of that. I mean, we may get Dom. We may get Gio. We may get both the brothers at the exact same time.
Maybe some Reggianato.
Yeah, Robo may actually make a stop and then just skate right over and talk to us. I have no clue how this is going to work.
The possibilities are endless, and Joe, I hope you asked them legit if I was allowed to just take off my shoes and go barefoot on the ice.
I didn't, because once I found out some more information on this, I thought this guy's going to have to be an imbecile to actually try this.
Why? What did you find out?
Well, because the ice is going to be freshly skated on, which again means that there's going to be slices of ice.
Yeah.
After you see what I'm saying here, like this idea is becoming dumber and dumber the more we go through this.
It's either I'm agreeing like, yeah. Oh, yeah, that sounds so good.
Yeah,
or
no,
like, oh, yeah.
no,
Yeah, that
it sounds
painful.
dumb.
No, I was thinking about it last night actually. The slices, the indentions in the ice,
Yes.
and I'm like, you know, that might actually hurt a little bit.
Yes.
So, you know what? I'll just put on some skates and I'll try and do what they do and see if I can do maybe like a percentage. I'm say 5% of what those guys can do on the ice.
If they have a radar gun on these slap shots tonight,
Oh, you better believe it.
Yours is going to be like a 20 miles per hour.
You don't know that.
Yes.
I'm going to get my stats for the NHL for the Tennessee Mutts because I play the video game. I need
We're
to
not
finally know
talking
this stuff.
PlayStation.
Look, I know, but it's
No,
gonna
it's
gonna
Xbox
correlate
for him. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
an
It's
Xbox
gonna
guy.
correlate.
He's an Xbox guy.
It's not weird at all, Mike.
no, it's not.
Come on now. Yeah, I don't know exactly what you're
All
talking
three of us
about.
play on different things. I just realized that.
We really do. You're a computer guy. He's an Xbox guy. I'm a PlayStation guy. So I'm the only one in my right mind right now. That's okay.
All right.
No, actually, no. Yours is pretty good because you can do a lot of things with yours. Not you.
No, yeah, PC Master Race wins for real here.
Absolutely.
But regardless of that, I am very much looking forward to the Havoc Hour. You should as well. 6 o'clock over on WZZN TV. Go and subscribe to that bad boy. And while you're over there, just go and click on the Morning Blitzes. We are now live over there as well, on top of every other local show that includes Talking Ball, that includes The Drive, that includes Tom Abraham, he's local, kind of.
His voice is.
Yeah, sometimes
his voice
he's
is.
local, But either way,
Is Tommy back today? Do we know this?
I hope to God he is, because if he doesn't tell us until after our show, I'm gonna be like, bro, I'm not doing it. I'm
We're
just not
gonna
doing
get
it.
a text message at like 11:05. Hey guys, need y'all to knock this one out today.
Hurry up, man. I'm like, come on, bro.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sure. Mhm.
He just texts you a picture of Sam Darnold. Was like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
It means I'm not showing up.
Not showing up. Not showing up. It's the last week of the regular season, the playoffs, boys. I'm not showing up.
Not showing up.
Too soon.
Not at all.
We'll be talking a little bit more about the postseason, at least the first round of the NFL playoffs, when we get back here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. But Joe, what do you got?
Question for you, because I think everybody needs to know this, because after Auburn and as well as Alabama both play tonight.
Yeah.
And I know that Auburn is hosting Mississippi State.
It's a good team.
So what we decided to do is we decided to get Ike Jones on from the War Report to talk about this. Here's the problem. When we got told that he was coming on, the person that scheduled this did not tell us what time.
10.
Okay, cool. He's coming on at 10 today.
Yeah.
No, because I even went back and looked.
I was getting there.
Yeah.
Come on now. It was going to take a little bit of time.
Because I'm doing all of our social media stuff right
that makes
now.
sense. That makes
And I thought to myself, I don't know the time. So let me go back and look, and all it says is Ike Jones tomorrow.
Well,
Like, okay, cool.
Well, for Ike, it's kind of similar to Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And as Ike does, they always show up.
If you have a Sam Darnold issue because somebody's not showing up in the important moments, that's when you need Fleming Roofing and Restoration, because they always show up.
Yeah, you guys.
They're Patrick Mahomes as compared to other places that are Sam Darnold.
You guys are really getting on Sam Darnold. Look, I know he had a bad game last night, but I mean, come on, he was playing a team that was. It was almost like there was fire on their heads. They were going
Dude.
crazy.
They came in here 14-3.
They should have done a little bit more. They should have done a little bit more. Either way,
show up.
We'll take it to break. When we get back, we'll discuss a little bit more about that matchup from last night, as well as the other playoff games that might have intrigued us a little bit more here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Temperatures drop into the mid-20s as we head into the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. A mostly to partly sunny sky. Wednesday afternoon, temperatures once again climbing into the low and mid-40s. Still well below where we should be this time of year. Dropping into the mid and upper 20s as we head into the overnight early Thursday morning. A mostly sunny sky. Thursday afternoon, it does look like we are finally going to climb into the lower 50s across the Tennessee Valley. Upper 20s, lower 30s. By the time we get to the Friday morning commute, we're going to be warmer on Friday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's bowl season on ESPN Radio, including the college football playoff and national championship game. electricity, the atmosphere. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the College Football Playoff National Championship, presented by AT&T. Coverage begins Monday, January 20th at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
It's the beauty of college football.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional, in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Say, look at all the snap, make that thing clap. Those in the clues, spinning those when it's spread. Thinking real fine, standing 5'9", high heels on, right on time. Oh man, look at Shorty, she making that thing jiggle. I like the way it wobbly.
Welcome back in to a wild Tuesday, I guess. Here in No Man's Land, John Abraham, Joe Hunk, the Bandy Man, Bailey Lowery. You know what else is wild? The way the Rams were able to play the Vikings yesterday. And I know you guys have already been dogging on good old Sam Darnold. Look, he had a decent season, all right? He was able to help lead this team to a record that, honestly, not a lot of people expected post Kirk Cousins. I mean, once he left, then everybody thought, oh, it's time to rebuild again. Try and get some guys in. I'll bring in Aaron Jones. Oh, that'll be great. I honestly, at one point last night, I was like, is Aaron Jones injured? Because I have no idea where he is. And he's not making an impact as much as I thought he would. And maybe, that has to be given credit to this Rams defense that is completely showing up. On top of that, Jared Verse, who was able to pick up Witherspoon's forced fumble and take it back for a touchdown, which totally just took the life out of the Vikings. And to have this game shifted, not in the last second, but kind of last second, to play in Phoenix, that's something that would totally throw a team off, all right?
Which one? You talking about the one that just has to fly from Minneapolis, or the one who's sitting here going, well, guys, we just go play a football game. We may come back to homes. We may not. My family may have a place to live. They may not.
Regardless.
Which one do you think would have been a little bit more distracted last night?
I would say the Rams.
But just take in the season as a whole, because he did have a decent season, but take it as a whole. You go the entire season losing only to 2 teams.
Yep.
You still only end up in the divisional round in the wild card.
Which it's wild to see them as a 5th seed, too.
Well, that's the best they could do.
I mean, look at what division they're playing.
I mean, it's the exact same thing as looking at the college football playoff and saying it is wild to see them as a 6th seed. Yeah, that's as high as they can get.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, the Lions, the Packers. I mean, all of these teams that helped push kind of Minnesota around into the corner. I mean, this is where they ended up at the 5th spot, facing off against the Rams team that has lost 7 games this season. And at some points, we didn't think if they were going to make it to the postseason. But then, of course, you see the resurgence on offense. You see this defense start getting a little bit more stout. And now all I have to see for this Vikings team, the way they ended off the season, is the combined 18 points they had in the last 2 matchups against the Lions and against the Rams. And that's got to leave kind of a bad taste in your mouth. Sam Darnold, he went 25 for 40 last night, 245 yards, a touchdown, an interception. There was, a few forced fumbles. But, I mean, outside of that, though, for a guy that a lot of people wrote off his career as a starter, for Sam Darnold to take this team and lose against just 2 teams, 4 games, but 2 teams across this entire season, that's got to leave a little bit of hope. Yeah. Whether you are the Vikings and you're wanting to keep Sam Darnold, or you're the Vikings and you want to maybe try and explore other options within the free agency.
I know it's seeing that stat though, just losing only to 2 teams all year, and you don't even make it to the divisional round.
Well, it's not just about losing; it's about the place and the spot that you are in when you lose. Like that's the whole thing. Like there's a part of me right now that just wants to just sit and scream as loud as like, guys, can y'all stop doubting Bo Nix? Like, dude was a baller.
Yeah. For
the Broncos. Like, in all reality, he still has a legitimate shot at the Offensive Rookie of the Year award.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's got to show up in the right moments. Now, there were moments against that in that game where he did show up. First play of the game, the big pass. You saw how great he did leading the team down at the end of the first half, trying to get him into field goal range. It wasn't his fault that his kicker couldn't kick. And so, those are the moments that you do see for him. But then I can also spin this around and go, going back and looking at some of his games in college, like if you look at all of the big games outside of Oregon his first season in his very first game, and like Alabama in his very first game, the man never won big games.
No.
Now, that's a totally separate conversation, but I use that to say it's about not just being able to win during the regular season. It's about being able to win when the biggest moment arises.
No doubt.
And that's part of the reason why we bash James Franklin. It's the reason why we sit and talk about all these teams or coaches that can't coach or players that struggle in the playoffs. A-Rod, Barry Bonds. We talked about Aaron Judge now and how they can't just show up in the playoffs. The reason why Jordan is the GOAT, yes, is because he showed up in the playoffs. Like, that's what this is all about. Sam Darnold had an opportunity to get the Vikings the bye and didn't just lose, didn't even show up.
Yeah.
He had an opportunity last night not to even have to play in front of a true LA crowd. It was 50-50. Like, I want to say at kickoff, they said it was like 51-49 because so many Vikings fans had come down and went to Phoenix. And so it was almost like a bowl game is what they kept describing it as. And you still do what you did last night, only had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. In the last 2 games that he played, 411 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Yeah.
That's not going to win you anything. And plus, for him personally, he just cost himself millions of dollars because he was going to be a guy that, because of how well he played for Minnesota, was going to get a massive contract from some team. Some team that was wanting a veteran quarterback, whether they drafted and wanted to kind of go the route of like Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins, or if they wanted to bring him in and say, all right, let's see if you can be the starter and possibly go the Baker Mayfield route. He was going to get a big deal.
Yeah.
That is gone now. Nobody cares about the other 16 games that he played in, and how he threw like 5 touchdown passes in a game and 3 touchdown passes like less than a month ago. Nobody cares about that. They care about a game to be the number 1 seed, and he didn't show up in a game where he's in the playoffs, basically at a neutral site, and didn't show up.
Yeah.
Those are what they're going to focus on.
I could see the path going similar to how Nick Foles, whenever he was able to help the Eagles, of course, go on to win a Super Bowl. And then where did he go after that? A lot of people tried to focus on his career, but at the same time, he wasn't a true starter when it came down to it. Look, he had a really good time in the postseason, and of course, this is after Carson Wentz went down, and that's another quarterback we could throw in there that is kind of at the point where Sam Darnold was just a year ago, where it's like, are you going to be able to reinvent yourself? And for Sam Darnold, he had that opportunity. He played a great regular season, but you are right. He wasn't able to show up in those big moments, and that's why he let this team down, and it's not a good taste for Vikings fans.
Trust me, there's an amazing career to be when you're a backup quarterback. Yeah. There's an amazing career, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Teams don't prep for you, so you can have an opportunity of coming into the game and you can make a difference in this football game. A lot of times the reason why a backup quarterback will come in and have instant success is because players and coaches are focusing on the starting quarterback, his tendencies and what he's going for. And the backup quarterback, something they think about for like maybe an hour, and then they say, all right, put that to the side, let's focus on this. So as you're having this drive where you're going down the field for 95 yards and you're looking like an all-pro, they're going, okay, we got to find, okay, this is the defenses they struggles again. This, okay, cool. Now let's go do something against it. So there's a fine career as a backup quarterback. But if Sam Darnold wants to be a starter and he wants to continue this career that we thought he was about to go to with this Baker Mayfield change of scenery type situation, he's now in a place where he's going to have to remind other teams of the other 16 games outside of the 2 that he just lost.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Now I want to look over at this Detroit Lions, Washington Commanders matchup, because this one is intriguing not just to Natty Den, but a lot of people around the country, as we get a rookie quarterback facing off against another guy that made it to a Super Bowl once before, didn't win the game, but again, he was with a totally different team, and now he's been able to help the Lions get back into this position that they kind of were in last year, but it looks like there might be a little bit more momentum. So for the Lions against the Commanders, what are we seeing that might be the Achilles heel for this Lions team that I think a lot of people are already writing off as a win in this matchup?
Their defense. I mean, they're still injured.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that their defense is bad. I'm saying that their defense is going to be the weaker of the two. Yeah. And when you do have the offense and you have St. Brown and you do have Gibbs and you have all this play that you're starting to see from those players, and I'm just naming two of them, not Laporta and all these other guys that are on this team as well. But when you look at just those players offensively, skill-wise, this team can score extremely fast. What you're going to want to do is, especially with the defensive line, you're going to have to continue to wear them down. If I was the Commanders, I would want to have long drives instead of short, quick plays so that their offense, so the Detroit Lions offense gets back in, because I want to wear that team down, because it's not so much the players that are on the field now. It is when they need a break and you bring in the second string, because really the second string is starting to turn into the third and fourth string. And then there's a possibility of being able to utilize their weaknesses against them. So I think that's where I want to see is, give me long drives, 9, 10, 11 play drives. Like, I'm okay if you're just getting 3 and 4 yards of play and you go all the way down the field, because that's going to wear that defense out, so that in the third and fourth quarter, you're going to be able to take advantage of it. Because, look, an NFL halftime is not like college.
No.
In college, the players could probably drive to the next city and back to get lunch if they want to.
You got a whole band concert going on.
Yeah, in the pros, halftime is 10 minutes. There are times where they're sitting on the bench in 10 minutes. I'm not talking about 10 NFL minutes. I'm talking about 10 real life minutes. 600 seconds. Like, that's it.
Good math.
I guess. I actually started questioning myself after I said it.
Think about it too much.
But it's 600 seconds. That's all they have. Like, they'll do that on the bench between kickoff, the commercial break, next commercial break, all this stuff they're going to do. They're going to have that amount of time of rest on the bench. They don't get that in the NFL. So now you can know that this halftime that people want to say, oh, go ahead and make an adjustments, you don't have the time in the pros.
Yeah.
So you continue to do what you try to do and work this defense down. That'll help you in the third and fourth quarter if you're the Commanders.
My biggest concern for this Commanders team right now is, yes, they have a very high-powered offense. Of course, we talked about it plenty of times. Jaden Daniels, the amazing season that he's had. Terry McLaurin, what a weapon that he can be. But on top of that, Brian Robinson, and now you have Austin Eckler back. Of course, we talked plenty about him last season for the Chargers. What an insane talent he is, and what a big pickup for this Commanders team. But that was the one thing that I did not see enough of against the Buccaneers, and that's what I think they need to start establishing in this matchup against the Lions if they want those lengthy drives again, because we missed that in the last game. We missed it in the regular season finale against the Cowboys, which they almost lost against Trey Lance. I mean, there's so many times where this team looks like they are one of the best offenses in the entire league, just for them to forget that, hey, we've got this stud at the running back position, and we're not going to utilize him enough. I believe the leading rusher last week was Jaden Daniels, and then against the Cowboys, we saw Marcus Mariota as the leading rusher.
Because what they want to do with Mariota is they like to utilize him in that tush push QB sneak type of thing. They don't want to risk losing Jaden Daniels over this because of the injuries that he's had so far this season.
And again, that goes over to the size of this quarterback. As a rookie, you're not expecting him to be, the Lamar Jackson that Lamar Jackson is now. You're expecting the Lamar Jackson that came into the league that was a lot smaller.
Yeah, so far this season, Marcus Mariota has rushed 18 times for 92 yards and a touchdown. But he also, out of the 18 attempts, has gotten 6 first downs. So that's the way that they're going to utilize him in this. And now the problem with this is, if you are the Lions, and a lot of times we see it, is he continues to run the football. At some point in time, they could set this up for a pass, and you're going to get suckered into it. And we've seen that before, especially even with the Eagles, where, look, if Jalen Hurts makes the pass, that's a touchdown for the Eagles. They tried this. They set up for the tush push. Everybody sold on it. The defense was totally sold on it. Just Hurts didn't make the pass.
Yeah.
And so that is something that you've got to kind of remember in the back of your head when you're going into this, that if you're in the secondary, is just because they're set up for a tush push, be ready, because Mariota can pass the football.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, again, he's a starting quarterback anywhere. But what I am saying is that from a backup in a trick play situation, he absolutely could do it. I trust him over giving it to a wide receiver that played quarterback in college or high school.
Yeah, that is the truth. We do need to move on to the next matchup, but I will say this. If the Lions do win this game, it is going to solely be because the Commanders cannot establish their run game. Brian Robinson Jr. has been lackluster in the last 5-6 weeks of the NFL season. So if Jaden Daniels has to be the leading rusher, so be it. But again, that's going to risk the chance of him getting injured. And even if they win this one, Jaden Daniels is injured, this team's not going too far. As we move on to the Rams and the Eagles. I mean, I want to say this is an offense versus a defensive game, but the way that this Rams team looked, all right, they looked like they were, full-fledged, well-rounded squad. But again, this is an Eagles team that it feels like they're doing everything right and is a very methodical squad.
No, and that's all that Jalen Hurts needs to be. Like, again, when you have the weapons that you have with him, when you have a potential at an MVP candidate behind you, when you have A.J. Brown, when you have Smith, when you have all the different options at the quarterback position, I am 1,000% just saying, get the ball out of my hands. Like, just get it out of my hands. And if I then have to do a tush push or something along those lines, okay, that's a little different. But when I'm thinking about this Eagles team, that's all they have to do is just be smart. Yeah. Like, people don't realize this, and this is another reason why it blows my mind at times that at this moment on January 14th, 2025, so many people are still wanting to bash teams like Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And about look at their schedule. It was god awful. They didn't do anything. Guys, their schedule over the last month has been harder than a lot of other teams in college football, period. Yeah. And that team, especially somebody like Riley Leonard, is doing the one thing he needs to do: protect the football.
Yeah.
Like, just protect it. Don't make any dumb decisions. Don't try to go out and play hero ball. Don't go out and go, hey, this guy's double covered, but you know what? I kind of believe in my receiver. I'm going to go ahead and throw it up to him. No.
You know what I liken it to? I liken it to that team where they don't do anything flashy. They don't do anything out of the ordinary. They're just beating you in hard fundamentals. And that, like, really watching that Notre Dame team, it just feels like old school fundamental football watching that team.
Yeah.
Well, and we talk so much. I mean, we talked about this yesterday. Jeremiah Love is this whole conversation of, is he going pro? Is he staying? Is he healthy? Is he not healthy? What is he doing? The man wasn't even the leading rusher on the team.
No. Yeah.
Like, he wasn't even the leading rusher. And that the reason for that is because of how this offense has been built on this. Now, that's why I look at the Eagles game and I say, same thing applies. Because between A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, or however you say his last name, and you can
Goddard.
Even in there, the Goddard, you can even throw in Grant Calcaterra, which, God, I loved him in college. I really wanted the Titans to pick him up. In this, as well as like Saquon Barkley in the backfield.
Oh, yeah, just him.
Well, no, I'm talking about even from a receiving standpoint, not even a running standpoint. I'm not talking about the 2,000 yards rushing. I'm talking about the fact that he almost had 300 yards receiving to go along with that. And he had like 33 catches to go along with that. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. But those are the types of players that if you're hurt, just get the football out, man.
Yeah.
Just get it out of your hands.
There's plenty of playmakers that'll be able to
be
take care
a game manager. Dude, I would much rather be a game manager and have a ring than be an all-star and not have any rings.
Yeah. It really does seem like there's too much talent on this Eagles team where if they just play that fundamental football, they don't do anything crazy, they win.
But are they the most talented team in this field?
No,
because
they're not the most. No. They're not the most talented in the NFL, but they are talented on the offensive side. I mean, you got all those weapons on your case.
Look, go back to the Chiefs.
I'm going.
Are the Chiefs the most talented team right now in the NFL?
Okay, so let's just make this as the transition.
If teams would stop giving them pieces.
Chiefs, Houston. All right. The way that the Chiefs have been able to win a majority of the games, and this is something that's been beat up like a dead horse. It has just been luck, last-second wins, all of that stuff. I look at this Chiefs team and I see Patrick Mahomes. I see Isaiah Pacheco back on this roster. So be it. But outside of that, you got D-Hop. You got Xavier Worthy. Is he even healthy at this point? There are so many players that have come and gone on this Chiefs team. The depth has really helped out, but they're not the most talented team, I would say, in the NFL. Their defense is good enough to win games. But at the same time, I feel like out of all of the years, and as we've said this so many times, this is the year that the Chiefs will be beaten and not make it to the Super Bowl. And again, we've said this so many times. They're facing off against Houston. C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Joe Mixon, another talented team. But are they talented in the way that they can beat a Chiefs squad? Are they grown up enough to beat a Chiefs squad? Is this the team that is going to be able to do it? I don't think so, but there is a possibility. And, Joe, I want to know what you think, because you are the Chiefs fan here in the studio. So
it still makes me laugh when y'all say that. I mean, again, yes, I do have connections to the city, so I'm not sitting there going no, but it just makes me laugh when I hear that. But this is part of the Chiefs' mystique in this is, one, you have to go into Arrowhead.
Yeah.
So that's part of this. Yeah. And the other thing is this mystique that you've put around the Kansas City Chiefs of, all right, well, if we take the ball and we score with 45 seconds to go, did we give Patrick Mahomes too much time?
Exactly.
Like, and I say it because as you were asking the question, I thought, well, wait a second. Yeah, I mean, Xavier Worthy, like, he should be healthy, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, and I say it because I'm looking at their injury report from last week, and he isn't even on it, and I can't even remember if he's on IR or what. But looking at the way that they have built this team, and no, Travis Kelce hasn't had his best seasons. Yep. Like he just hasn't. But because Worthy did play in all 17 games.
Yeah, Worthy's probably good.
If you go and look at him, 35 seconds to go, Mahomes gets the football on the 25. Yeah, you're darn right you're in trouble. Because again, there's a reason why people right now are talking about Bond, and they're going, well, last year it was Xavier Worthy. Chiefs got him, and look exactly what he's done. He's almost has 700 yards receiving. He's already got 6 touchdowns this season. All it takes is one secondary player having a misstep, and it's done. Like that's the deal. D-Hop right now, DeAndre Hopkins is not the same receiver that he was 5 and 10 years ago. Nope. He absolutely isn't, but he's still serviceable. And you can still utilize him for first down catches. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, look, again, like looking at him, he has 25 catches so far this year that were for first downs.
Yeah.
25 catches. The man only had 41, and 25 of them were for first downs. So, like, those are the players that you start to look at with this. Running the football, you can then look about is, how healthy is Pacheco going to be? Mm-hmm. You still have to deal with Mahomes. No, he's not the speed guy, but he's a smart runner. Like, Kareem Hunt and how he's ran. The problem is that the closer the game gets to the end of the fourth quarter, the nerves start to go and to start being put on the other team.
Yeah.
Because you're facing the defending Super Bowl champions, the back-to-back defending Super Bowl champions, and you're in Arrowhead, and you're going up against the nickname he's been given is the Grim Reaper. Like, the man literally I literally have, like, T-shirts of this. Like, it's an awesome saying. But, again, it's I think what it was Andy Reid was like, when everybody thinks you're dead, be the Grim Reaper. Or so, Grim Reaper, something like that. I have in the T-shirt's awesome. But you still have got to cut the head off. Mm-hmm. Like, we go back to 2008, 2009, Florida. You got to cut the head. Yeah. Like, Thanos should have went for the head. You got to go for the head, man. Yeah. And I don't mean head hits. I don't want anybody going, oh, he's got to hit him illegally. No, you have to disconnect the head from the body. Since we're talking about beating dead horses, you have to disconnect it. And if you don't, 15 is going to can get you. And until that time happens, you don't have to have the most talented team. We have seen that time in and time out. These super teams and these amazing rosters, and we continue to look and go, oh, well, heck, I mean, look at all the players that they have. Like, no, dude, Mahomes last year, 2 years ago, was having a season, what we talk about with Tom Brady, where he's like, I don't even know half these guys' names. Right. I don't. Yeah. I mean, we've had so many injuries. There's so many guys out. I don't even know half these guys' names.
Because that's what you got. There's a reason he's made the AFC Championship every single year. He's been a starter because Mahomes and Andy Reid have this team just running like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. He is literally a D Ford offsides call away from being a national or Super Bowl champion in 2018. Like, that's all it was. Yeah. D Ford was offsides. Outside of that, Chiefs are going to beat the Patriots that season. They go to Atlanta and hope to God put up a better performance against the Rams.
This is true.
Hopefully.
I mean, you know who I liken it to? I'm bringing it to the basketball a little bit, but I liken it to the Denver Nuggets because you have Thibodeau and Jokic over there pretty much doing a little bit of the same thing that Mahomes and Andy Reid are doing in the NFL.
Yeah.
Not quite to the same success because they only have about one final under their belt compared to the two Super Bowl
It's
back-to-back.
still young. It's still young.
It's still young. But again, when guys transfer over to that Nuggets team, it's not no reason that they just miraculously continue to play like they're at their peak again.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook over there right now is starting, and he's playing better than he's ever played in the last 5 years.
And that is wild to see. The Chiefs are an interesting team to me because every single game they've played, it's just been so close. It doesn't matter if they're playing the Bills. It doesn't matter if they're playing the Panthers, the Raiders. All of these games have been around a field goal away from losing, and that's something that you got to take into account when you look at this matchup against the Texans. Now, back in December 1st, these two teams did face off against each other, and it was 27-19 when it all was said and done. That was in Arrowhead. So you'd think that the Chiefs and DeMeco Ryans would have a little bit more of an idea of what this team is going to throw at them.
I was going to say, was it also a close win when Mahomes took out his own receiver that 1 week in the NFL? I forgot.
That was Rashi Rice at the time.
Yeah, Rashid Rice.
Golly, that's maybe who I was thinking about when I was talking about.
What was that, like week 5?
Yeah.
It was early on. It feels like it was just a few weeks ago, though.
Well, and again, people go, wait a second. I remember Rashid Rice. Yeah, all this stuff happened in the offseason. He then gets on the field, then he has a season-ending injury.
Yeah.
And so here's the point, though, with the Texans. They have been in this situation as far as playing in Arrowhead in 2024/2025. They've been there. But Andy Reid is a different coach in the playoffs. You've got to be a different coach in the playoffs. You cannot do what you did in the and look, literally, whatever sport it is, soccer, hockey, baseball, basketball, I don't really care if we're talking about bowling right now. You have got to be a different person in the playoffs than what you are in the regular season because you have got to be able to utilize your tendencies and flip the script so they're not doing it. That's what Andy Reid is fantastic at. All these coaches that you're like, you know what? Their style, the coach doesn't matter. In the playoffs, that is when it does matter.
No doubt.
And so Andy Reid is amazing at making adjustments and coming out with things that you have not seen because they've been practicing it just casually every once in a while, and then maybe during a week they'll throw in one or two new plays that they'll go over a few times. You won't think about it. They do it for 15 straight weeks. Next thing you know, there's 35 to 40 plays that they've never even used before on film, and you're going, where the heck did these come from? Yeah, they practice 1 or 2 a week, and then they go back and they kind of go back over it again, and they're really just preparing for like a second season.
Yeah.
That is what Andy Reid does as a coach. This is what anybody does. I don't care if it is basketball or baseball. Right. Baseball, the reason the Oakland A's never made it to a World Series because they coached and played the same way in the regular season and in the playoffs. You can't do that. You've got to take more risk. You've got to steal bases. You've got to be able to do hit and run. You've got to be able to bring in a pitcher and utilize them for 1 or 2 pitches just so that you can get out of an inning to get to the next inning. Yeah. Those are things you wouldn't do in the regular season, but you have to do there. Yeah. That's what Andy Reid does.
And it definitely helps when you got a few weeks off as you are the Kansas City Chiefs getting that bye going into this matchup against the Houston Texans. I say protect the ball. If you are CJ Stroud, take a note out of Jalen Hurts' book and just be the playmaker you need to be. But again, you got to catch him off guard, so don't be too scared to risk some interesting passes to your top receivers like Tank Dell as well as Nico Collins. We'll take it to break. When we get back, phone lines open, 256-576-4.
97.7. Brandon, stay on the line, brother.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Start with you and then finish off with some of the playoff talk as we head into hour number 2 here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, G-Bank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a G-Bank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Busy night of Southeastern Conference basketball coming up today. The top-ranked Auburn Tigers hosting Mississippi State at Neville Arena. The Tigers are laying 7.5 as they play for their 9th consecutive win. Mississippi State ranked 15th. They are 14-2. The total today, 151.5. Number 4, Alabama laying 9.5 at home at number 21, Ole Miss, 164 at the Coleman Coliseum. The 5th-ranked Florida Gators at home laying 11 against the Missouri Tigers. Number 8, Kentucky, and number 11, Texas A&M meet at Rupp Arena. Wildcats a 6.5-point favorite, and Arkansas lays 2 at LSU. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
It's bowl season on ESPN Radio, including the college football playoff and national championship game. The electricity, the atmosphere. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the college football playoff national championship, presented by AT&T. Coverage begins Monday, January 20th at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
It's the beauty of college football.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
No sleep till.
Welcome back in to the Morning Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, Bandyman Bailey Lowery. closing out the first hour of the show. Appreciate everybody in ESPN Winchester listening in to us.
What's up?
We will hop into the phone lines, but we do have to tell you that there is some coaching talk going on in Dallas, and it is very much intriguing. We will be getting into that conversation later on in the second hour. We still do have Ike Jones from the War Report to join us in the second hour as well at the top to talk a little bit of Auburn hoops as they have their own SEC matchup tonight against Mississippi State. So that's going to be a lot of fun as well.
I know y'all have heard of the scoregami, right?
Yes, we have.
You ever heard of a matchup-agami?
No, I've not.
Because what's happening tonight with Alabama and Auburn has actually never happened before in college basketball, where Alabama and Auburn are playing both Mississippi schools on the same day, and all four of them are ranked.
Wow.
In basketball.
Wow, there you go, Bandy.
On top of, this is the first time since Alabama and Auburn have both been ranked within the top 5.
Well, this do be the SEC in 2025, so
I blame Mississippi.
That's how it is. Yeah, I blame Mississippi.
Yeah, but it's definitely
It's always
Mississippi's
Mississippi's fault. Dang it. Either way, we hop into the phone lines. We got Brandon on with us. Brandon, how you doing today, man?
Man, I was calling to give you your tribal name for tonight. We're going to call you Skinwalker Abraham since you're going to walk the ice barefooted.
Can you call me? I'll be Windigo Abraham. How about that one?
You're going to be Blood and Bones
Windigo?
Abraham.
Yeah.
Call was it Ice Walker, like the where the Skinwalker was that? Was Skinwalker Game of Thrones too? Am I thinking of? It's been a while.
Some things up in the Appalachian. I don't know. They're walking around.
Skinwalkers are actually, it's like mythology.
It's Minnesota's what are they called? The monster, a creature.
Yeah, I was thinking like the ice people from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, well, almost the same.
White Walker.
White Walkers.
Yeah, White Walkers.
Yes.
Definitely not a White Walker. I mean,
Walter-
technically he would be a White Walker.
Yeah, technically. Yeah.
But it was, no, he's not gonna be a White Walker.
My feet will be black by the end of the night.
So are y'all going to live stream this tonight?
Yep, going to be live on WZZN TV. We're actually going to be heading over there very early to make sure we get everything set up and good to go.
And my skates fitted.
No.
Did they say I can't get on the ice?
Look, man, all I know is that it's Havoc players.
Dude,
you can get on the ice.
Okay. Tell them I need a pair of skates. I can get the stream going on the ice as well while they're doing some of this stuff. I'm just saying. These are the ideas we have.
Let's just say, yes, we're going to be there. We're going to be broadcasting it. WZZN TV is where you need to go for this.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Well, it's going to be a pretty good time. We may even have some special music for John while he's doing that tonight. I'll have to leave that one with Bailey. Let us know if he's going to hook that up and make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
And I wanted to ask Joe Hunk. So I said something to Joe about the Gadsden Badman contest. And I just wondered what your further thoughts on that were about you coming down and bringing the show down there.
All right, hold on. I've totally forgotten about that, so I've got to go back.
Was it that wrestling matchup?
Yes, I think, no, that was the, I remember that now because, so here's the problem with it, okay? Like, I think it would be awesome, but the problem with it is that the show would be on from 9 to 11, and then the event isn't all the way until like 6 o'clock that night. That's the only problem with it.
Still go.
I mean, we could absolutely still go. I'm not saying no to it. I was just saying when I looked at it, I just thought, dang, if this thing was happening like right before the show, like we would do the show and then it started, like, dude, that would be legit.
Man, not everything happens in the morning.
No, nothing happens in the morning. Okay, not one thing happens in the morning. I promise you that. So yeah, no, I've not thought about it mainly because my mind has been 50 other places right now. But yes, I do remember the conversation now.
Y'all can just make the drive that afternoon.
Ooh.
Just swap places with them?
Just say, hey, guys, hey, Steve, don't worry about it today.
Hey, guys, yeah, we got you. We got you. We're already going to be there. Might as well just do something, have a little bit of fun.
We do enough of the Tom Abraham show. We might as well just, knock out yours as well. Why not?
I mean, it's getting close to Tom being our special guest.
I was about to say, does Steve still hold the record for 3 shows in a day?
Oh.
We're getting very, very close to us getting there with him on this one. Yeah.
But this tonight, Alabama and Auburn are going out there 1-4. God, how many years has this been coming? Getting basketball to this point.
Well, look, this is.
I've been trying to get.
It's been a long time coming. I'm glad it's here.
Well, no, and that's the part about this that people forget is the intent that the both schools have made into making basketball better. Not just the whole SEC, because the whole SEC has. But between Alabama and Auburn and the coaches that both teams have been through to improve their programs from the garbage fire that they were, and now look at them.
Yeah.
Top 5 teams.
Definitely huge.
Heck, the basketball programs are far better than the football programs right now.
Final thoughts. Oh, he might have already been out of here. Regardless of that, appreciate him calling in. The phone lines will still be open. 256-576-4977. The number to get into the morning blitz. When we get back, we got Auburn conversation. Ike Jones from the War Reports joining us here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by Everwood Treatment Company, the official treated lumber of Alabama athletics. Everwood, wood treated right. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Alabama women's basketball picked up a gritty 84-78 win on the road at Ole Miss on Sunday. Here are post-game thoughts from the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Christy Curry.
Huge response from Alabama. I know I always say I'm proud of them, but that is unbelievable. I don't have the words today. To come into this environment, amazing crowd, and I just told them, watch them all leaving with their head down. I'm so proud of, coming over here in a tough environment against a top 25 team, a man down, and to have what we have on Thursday night. If you've ever wondered about these kids' character and who they are and the toughness, unbelievable effort.
Fell down 7-0 in this game. You called timeout with 8:43 to go. What changed in that, or what did you talk about, first of all, in that timeout with this group to eventually fight back in the first quarter?
Just give our kids credit. I thought we took us a second there, but I needed to do a better job. I called one early at Texas, but just trying to find the words to stay positive with them.
I'll have more in a moment.
Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Preserving, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood offers top-notch pressure-treated wood for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. When it comes to quality, we're on the winning team. Visit your local Everwood dealer today and discover the difference for yourself. Everwood Preserving Incorporated, the official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
If you missed last night's episode of Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show, presented by Alpha Insurance, catch it on demand on the Alabama Insider podcast, as well as a video archive on the CTSN YouTube page. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Everwood. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, G-Bank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a G-Bank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Busy night of Southeastern Conference basketball coming up today. The top-ranked Auburn Tigers hosting Mississippi State at Neville Arena. The Tigers are laying 7.5 as they play for their 9th consecutive win. Mississippi State ranked 15th. They are 14-2. The total today, 151.5. Number 4, Alabama laying 9.5 at home at number 21, Ole Miss, 164 at the Coleman Coliseum. The 5th-ranked Florida Gators at home laying 11 against the Missouri Tigers. Number 8, Kentucky, and number 11, Texas A&M meet at Rupp Arena. Wildcats a 6.5-point favorite, and Arkansas lays 2 at LSU. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon. Actually going to be a pretty nice Tuesday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-40s. Now, that is still below where we should be this time of year. The average high temperature somewhere in the low 50s, right around 51 or 52. We drop into the mid-upper 20s as we head into the overnight early Wednesday morning. A mostly to partly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the low and mid-40s. Dropping into the mid-upper 20s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
3, 2, 1.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, Bailey Lowery, 256-576-4977. This is the Morning Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on the Morning of Blitz on 977 ESPN The Zone, WZZN TV. That is where you absolutely need to be paying attention to, not just throughout the entire day today, but also tonight, 6 o'clock, live from Probst Arena at the VBC, as we will be doing the Havoc Hour on location at the Havoc Player Skill Competition that is going to be taking place tonight. And not only are we going to be broadcasting from there, we're not just going to be in the lobby, we're not just going to be on the concourse, we are on the bench, on the ice.
Yeah, but I mean, we would be on the ice, because we wouldn't be we're not bench players. We're actually ice players. But the thing is, we're not playing in the first place. I just don't want to. I never want to be the guy on the bench. I'm just going to be straight up with you, Joe.
No, in this sport right now where I struggle to even skate, I'm okay being the player on the bench.
Oh, really?
I'm totally okay being the player on the bench. Because look,
I'd be cool with that.
You know what I've learned over the course of having these interviews right now and doing the Havoc Hour is that the one position I thought I could play because there wasn't a lot of skating was the goalie.
Oh, bro.
Then I found out how much skating is actually involved in being the goalie, and I suck. I now suck again.
Your quads would be burning.
Yeah,
2 minutes into the game.
It's like Major League. Great, we suck again.
Yeah.
Like it was that would be me on this. So I'm okay with being on the bench, and kind of like I'm sitting here worried about sucking. Auburn doesn't suck.
No,
number 1 team in the nation.
That's pretty good.
It's like good and bad because you get the number 1 team in the nation ranking, and then you find out, oh yeah, our best player could potentially be out for a while.
Yeah.
So we kind of need to talk about that.
There's definitely a thought process before that. And if you also don't like being on the bench, make sure you go and check out our zone deals. You can find it on 977.com and get starting today as we hop into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, a guy that's going to help out tremendously when it comes to this Auburn Tigers basketball team. It's Ike Jones from the War Report. Ike, it's great to have you back on, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, man. It's glad to be back with you guys.
Always nice having you on. And I do want to talk about this basketball team as we brought up, of course, Jonai Broom out with a little bit of an ankle sprain. I'm glad to hear it's not as serious as initially thought. But can you tell us a little bit more about maybe the timetable on which he might be back on the court for the Tigers?
Well, they've been playing it pretty close to the vest as far as the team is concerned on the timetable for his return. I would anticipate him being back for the next couple of games. If he was going to rush back, it probably would be the Tennessee game.
Yeah.
But I would anticipate at least these next 2 games, Mississippi State today for sure, and then potentially Georgia coming up on the road.
Okay, and the intensity, of course, kind of gets built up after Auburn, of course, gets the number 1 spot in the country. They get to go home and face off against Mississippi State, and this one's an intriguing one. Talk a little bit about this Mississippi State competition that is coming in and what Auburn's going to need to do to try and get the one up, even without their best player on the team.
Well, Mississippi State's a physical team, right? And they're going to bring the level of physicality that Auburn has seen so far when they've been in SEC play. And without Janai Broome, that means that your other guys are going to have to step up. Chaney Johnson, Dylan Cardwell need to stay out of foul trouble. Maybe get a little Jaheim Hudson in there to be able to play some of the minutes that's big, even playing small ball with Chris Moore maybe at some of the 4 spot. But I think the big thing for Auburn in this game, if you look at what Mississippi State just did as far as losing the game to Kentucky, is being efficient offensively and taking advantage of the fact that they have some of the best three-point shooters in the country out there. They've got, 4 guys shooting over 40% from 3. Those guys need to step up and make some big shots and force Mississippi State to guard away from the rim. And then maybe you can just outscore, because if it's going to be a closely contested contest, the physicality of Mississippi State, I think, doesn't bode well for Auburn in this one.
Well, and you're talking about backing this out and making this a high-scoring game because of the physicality. And if this does have to become a game where they're playing it underneath the net, what are we talking about as far as somebody that you mentioned a few players needing to step in, but when you're talking about the physicality, it's going to take multiple guys. Who is Auburn going to have to rely on for that if this thing gets played in the post?
I mean, Chaney Johnson's probably the best post scorer on the team, but Dylan Cardwell is going to be the guy who's going to neutralize the paint, right? Like, he's going to be the guy that is going to get in there and get your rebounds. He's going to be the guy defensively that's going to be the rim protector and the anchor for the defense. So I think those 2 guys in particular are going to need to do to step up to be what Janai Broome was for the team. But I'm looking at a guy like Chad Baker-Mazara, not a big guy, not a guy who's necessarily going to dominate the post, but he is someone who can help you with his length to get inside and rebound, and someone who you can play through how they've been playing through Janai on offense, where he can be in the high post and he can be a facilitator from that spot. I'm thinking Chad Baker-Mazara is going to have a big game.
Well, what about
need a big game?
And also, what about protecting the basketball? Because they have Cam Matthews. You have one of the best players in the SEC when it comes to creating turnovers for this. You were talking about breaking it outside, getting behind the three-point line, keeping this in through the arc. But the protection of this, because it's all about a run. And so what's the point guards and shooting guards going to have to do with that, with a guy like Cam Matthews that knows how to get the basketball away from you?
Yeah, I think it's you've already talked about it. It's protecting it, right? Just being smart with how you're playing. Auburn's done a good job so far this year of not being too bad with the turnovers. They've gotten to some spaces in some games where it's gotten sloppy, but they've got to have as few of those dry spots where the guard play is not being excellent. Love what Tahad Pettiford's doing coming off of the bench, and Denver Jones, 2 guys who really aren't natural point guards but have stepped up to play the point guard position well. If they can keep the turnovers low in this game, you got to like Auburn's chances, because I believe Mississippi State's going to want to make this an ugly contest where it becomes sloppy and you get a bunch of turnovers, that sort of thing.
No doubt about that. Ike Jones from the War Report joining us to talk everything Auburn hoops. And I want to know, of course, last season Auburn was, they were a competitive team. They had a lot of the same guys, and they were able to go the distance with a majority of these top-ranked squads as well, because, hey, they were one of them. This year, getting that number 1 spot, what is the biggest difference you're seeing from a 2023, 2024 Auburn team to the 2024, 2025 Auburn team?
It's absolutely offensive efficiency. This team just scores the basketball differently than last year's team, particularly, you already talked about the three-point shot. Auburn didn't shoot the 3 very well last year, and that ability to shoot the 3 has allowed this offense to be way more efficient. You can't focus on Janai Broome the same way that last year's defenses could and just crowd the post, because he was passing so well out of the double teams, and these guys were making shots when they had their open opportunity. So, you've got guys that can shoot. Now the question is, are they going to have the same kind of looks without Janai Broome in there? But it absolutely is the offensive efficiency that's allowed this team to be so much better this year.
Ike, the SEC is kind of scary this year for a lot of basketball players if they're looking in, or even in conference teams. Even Auburn is going to find that out pretty soon. Of course, I already had to face against South Carolina, who it might be one of the lower teams when it comes to SEC play, but still one of those teams that can upset one of the top-ranked teams in the country. They played against Texas, of course, Missouri. That was a fun game. But you got to look forward and see, a Georgia team that's already found some big wins on the season, And then, of course, that Tennessee matchup that's just looming on the 25th. Talk a little bit about the competitiveness of this league here in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, this has always been a tough league, but I think the level, like the floor is so much higher for the SEC this season. Yeah. You could never really take for granted a game in this conference, but there are teams who legitimately can give competition to any team around the country this year, not just beat up on each other within the conference. I think that Florida is one of the best teams in the country. Bama's playing really well this season. Mississippi State is a formidable opponent, right? Like, you just don't have bad teams in the conference. You've got teams that are just okay, but there's no truly bad teams in the SEC. And the top end of the SEC is elite, right? Like, you've got teams that, if you're looking at, the top line for the NCAA bracket, there are going to be a lot of SEC teams in those first 4 seeds across the different regions when you get to tournament time. So that makes the conference a gauntlet, and you hope that you can survive that with a decent record and healthy. Auburn, one of those two, not so much right now, but hopefully Janai Broome will be back in time to make a difference when we get down into SEC tournament / NCAA tournament time. But now it's about the war of attrition of wins and losses, and trying to make sure that you can absorb a couple of losses here and there so that you can continue to get that high seed going into the tournament.
Well, and one part about Janai Broome's game that obviously we talk about the scoring, he averages a double-double every game, but the defensive side of this from him as well is something that Auburn can really rely on, especially in the paint. The man leads the SEC in blocks. Like, you can't you can't replace that. So how does this defense kind of adjust to that? Because with him and his threat down low in the paint, you knew, hey, if they get to him, he's going to be able to block it. How do they make that adjustment as well? Because we focus a lot on the offensive side, but that defensive side's in question as well.
Yeah, I think Dylan Cardwell is a great shot blocker, shot changer. It's really going to be for him about staying out of foul trouble and making sure that he's available to play in these games, heavy minutes that are going to be needed for him. And then the remainder of that, you haven't really seen Auburn do true presses very often, right? They're going to do the simulated pressure to make it difficult for you to inbound the ball, but then they back off and you get into a half-court situation. If you're going to play a more guard-centric lineup, then maybe they extend the pressure a little bit more and try to turn the tempo up on teams a little bit, make them speed up their pace without Janai Broome as the backstop there in that half-court defense. So that's a possibility for them going forward, is just to extend that pressure and really try to get into a more tempo type of defensive mindset.
And this one might be a little bit interesting, but I think we can all say, just by looking at the top rankings right now with Auburn, Alabama, and then on top of that, we look at even Alabama Huntsville here locally in basketball, even Samford. I mean, it just seems like Alabama as a whole has just been kind of on the rise when it comes to this sport. Can you tell us a little bit more about maybe the recruiting scene that is coming in to the state?
Yeah, I mean, so it all changes when you get good coaches, honestly, right? Like, programs buying into it from an administrative level and hiring quality coaches changes the landscape of what programs are able to do and achieve. And I think the programs around the state have done a good job of investing in quality coaches, which allows you to recruit better players. And now, for the programs that are in the financial position to be able to take advantage of NIL, it means that some of the more high caliber players don't feel like they have to congregate within 1 or 2 programs to be able to not just have an opportunity at the next level, but be able to play. Like a guy like, Janai Broome is a perfect example of that. In 2 or 3 years ago, pre-NIL, Janai Broome doesn't make it to this season at Auburn, right? He figures out whether he's going to go to the NBA or whether he's going to go overseas. He's going to be a professional basketball player right now. But you have the opportunity to have more of those guys that are kind of on the cusp, stay around. Mark Steers, another example. There's no way Mark Steers comes back for another year if he has an opportunity to go play professional basketball somewhere, right? So the ability to maintain some of that talent as well has helped. And that allows you to recruit better, because then you're putting better products out there on the floor that can say, hey, we can make sure that you're taken care of financially while you're in college. We're going to put you in front of a lot of eyes when we go out here and play these big matchups all over the country. And you're going to be able to play for a sustained amount of time and improve your stock to make it to the next level, whatever that is.
I always appreciate you hopping on with us, man. It's going to be a wonderful night of college basketball with the two matchups that we're focused on the most, of course, going to be those Alabama teams against Mississippi teams. It's a lot of fun. Even Bandy said it was a matchagami or something where this is the first time both have been in the top 25, and then, of course, Alabama and Auburn being so highly ranked as well. But a lot of fun stuff tonight. I know you'll be cross-eyed having to watch all of it, man, but let the people know. Yeah, I'm not. Let the people know where they can find your work so they can follow all things Auburn.
Yeah, absolutely. TheWarReport.com is the website. We're at The War Report on social media. I am personally at TWR Ike Jones on Twitter. You can find me there, and we'll be doing our thing over on YouTube, breaking down the game. Pre-game, during the game, we got a little stuff that we're going to be doing, and then definitely post-game reactions happening on the YouTube channel.
Heck yeah. Ike, appreciate it as always. Next time we talk a little bit more hoops, but we're going to get into some interesting stuff with some football as well, all right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Always great to hear from you. Again, Ike Jones from The War Report. I always want to throw out Ike Taylor. They're both powerful names, but Ike Jones is the man.
It just makes me laugh every time because I know why you're pausing.
It was just that time. It was just that time.
It's like you're visualizing the word Jones, and you're like, say Jones, say Jones, say Jones, say Jones. Yeah.
And I've said it. But again, A War Report, check his work out. If you are an Auburn fan or just a fan of basketball in general, that is the place to find all things Auburn. But we got to hop into a break. When we get back, Joe, what the hell are we talking about? I actually have no idea what we're... I know there's like so many things to get into. What are we talking about in the second?
No, that's it. That's the tease right there. No, that's
it.
That is better than anything I could have said right there. That is it. That's why you need to come back here in about 2 minutes on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Orthopedics. You're thinking bones, muscles, and joints, right? Well, what else comes to mind? Maybe your spine, therapy, or an arm cast? What about sports medicine? What do you think about when you hear that? Are you thinking about the largest orthopedic group in the state, caring for the most student athletes in North Alabama? Or about the fact that they are teamed up with the state's largest hospital-based sports medicine program to provide care to more schools in North Alabama than any other group? If you are, you have TOC Sports and Huntsville Hospital Sports Center on the brain. If you're not, you should, because Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC Sports have partnered for more than 2 decades to establish a state-of-the-art team of certified athletic trainers and orthopedic specialists who successfully continue to meet and exceed the sports medicine needs of schools, athletes, coaches, and parents in our community. Committing to kids, committing to community, committing to care. That's Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC Sports.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio. And have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
Let's go! Snap your fingers, do your style. You can do it all by yourself. Let me see you do it. Let me see you do it. Hey, snap your fingers, do your style. You can do it all by
You know, just thinking about this now, I wonder if I could get Fiend playing tonight when Dylan Stewart's playing and shooting tonight during the slap shot competition.
That'd be
I'm just I'm just gonna let you keep snapping, man. I mean, again, if Lil Jon tells you to snap, you snap.
Lil Jon!
I mean, if Lil Jon's telling you to snap, y'all just go ahead and snap.
I was waiting for Bandy to turn down the music, so then I wouldn't be snapping.
No,
no more snapping.
I'm not complaining about the snap.
I could snap really loud.
You can?
Yeah. I'm not gonna do it.
No. That's why we got quiet. You don't. You know what? I could throw a football over that mountain. Well,
that's
we
a
want to
different
see
story.
it happen.
That's a different story. Look, I can hype up me snapping really loud, but then I think about it. It's like, does anybody really want to hear me snap really loud? And
By
I'm
the
just
way,
like,
my wife is pissed at y'all.
I don't care.
She just, She just texted me and she goes, "Why did you turn that down? I was jamming."
We all were jamming, but we got a job to do, and also YouTube. They're gonna, they'll get us. They'll get us.
No, I'm just all I'm saying is that
And demonetize.
Yeah, it's but I'm just okay. Still, I was gonna let you snap. Also, I didn't know she was listening, so I got to be careful. So no, but I wonder if Dylan Stewart, because Dylan Stewart wants us to play Fiend. Now I got to figure out who we can talk. I don't know who the music person is for the Havoc, so we've got to figure out how to get Fiend on the playlist for the hockey games.
I think you just figure out the Bluetooth, and then you use that app you got, and then just like
my sport. So
yeah, use that.
Okay, so UAH, and whenever you're the PA announcer during at UAH and across all of sports, a lot of times the PA announcer is also controlling all the music. So UAH just went to a brand new system that they utilize for music, and so we've been learning this system throughout the basketball season.
They call him DJ Joe.
Yeah, no, that's DJ Hunky Fresh.
Ooh,
Thank you.
Okay.
And
I didn't know. I didn't mean to step on any toes.
100% off the top of my head right there. So so we're utilizing the app. The only problem is sometimes the app messes up when it comes to like connecting to the internet because internet flashes, and so it messes up. So what I did is I put the app on my phone, and now we use it for the Havoc Hour so that we can have more music that way. But also, I've created a playlist for UAH basketball. So if the problem would happen with the iPad that we're utilizing, I could just pop the thing out, put it right into my phone, and boom, we're ready to go.
That's why, and that's
so I have an app that literally at the push of a button, I can play any song that I've already got installed.
Yeah, that's why I was saying whenever Brandon was throwing out some suggestions, I'm like, we should be able to do that. I mean, it's easier now than ever. Okay. Ooh. That's how easy it is. That's how easy
See,
it
like
is.
I'm literally just sitting there just, pushing buttons and boom, we've got like 5 or 6 songs. I got to add some more for tonight for the Havoc
You
Hour.
know what else is easy? Dialing in the phone number, 256-576.
97.7.
The number 2 hop in with us if you just want to chill out or if you want to talk some sports. But, Joe, we got a little bit of coaching conversation to get into.
And it connects college football and the NFL. It also connects the kind of the world that we're in right now when it comes to former players becoming head coaches. Obviously, we've seen it in college football. Now we're seeing it, with Michael Vick. We've also seen it at the high school level, which, by the way, up until a few hours ago, I did not realize that that certain players were like high school football coaches. Like we found out about Ed Reed and about how now he's going to be an offensive coordinator in Georgia for a high school football team. We know about Phillip Rivers, and we also know about Teddy Bridgewater. But like Jason Witten, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys, he is coaching a high school. I want to say their name is like Liberty Christian or something like that. He's won back-to-back state championships.
Wow.
We
don't get to hear about some of those.
No, exactly. It's a high school football coach, but at the same time, you're going, wow, I didn't realize this. NBA, J.J. Redick is now the head coach for the L.A. Lakers. You've seen it where, like, Rossi went from being the Chicago Cubs backup catcher to being the manager of the team. You obviously can look at Aaron Boone and him being the manager now of the New York Yankees. We can keep going and going and going.
Even Mike Vrabel, the newest pickup for the Patriots.
Former player, amazing player. He's a fantastic coach, and now he is going to be the head coach for the New England Patriots. But you've seen this trend, but the one that everybody kind of wanted to question was somebody like Deion Sanders. And there was a period of time 3 and 4 years ago where Prime said, hey, look, I want to be a coach. And even Florida State was like, dude, I don't even want you to be our defensive secondary coach. And I know that you are in the Football Hall of Fame for this, and I don't even want you to be that. So Prime's like, 2 birds in the air. Fine, I'll go to an HBCU, dominates at Jackson State. Obviously, getting Travis Hunter to commit to an HBCU, which was absolutely unprecedented when it happened. It's still unprecedented because nobody else has done it since then. You have, and obviously and unfortunately for Prime, he kind of learned the situation that a lot of HBCUs are in, where financially they don't have the ability to have the facilities that they need.
Exactly.
And so he was able, and he put a lot of his money up at Jack State to build some of these facilities because the players needed it. And then he gets the job at Colorado. His sons go with him. By the way, yesterday we kept mentioning Shiloh, and I kept going, who the heck? Why do I know the name Shiloh?
Yeah.
Like, where the heck? Yeah, that's my dad's dog is named Shiloh.
Oh,
I found it clicked with me last night because my wife was on the phone with my stepmom, and they kept talking about the dog, and they're like, Shiloh, and I go, wait a second. That's where I heard that name. That's where I know it from.
It's a group thing, all right? It's not just going to be Deion Sanders wanting to coach his son. It's wanting to be coaching his sons.
Right. And
which
so
is going to be pretty easy. If he can get a hold of Shedeur Sanders in the NFL, he can probably get Shiloh at a discount price. I'm just saying.
Free?
I'm just saying, because he's going to be a free agent.
I mean, no, so he goes to Colorado. We've seen the change in this program. And again, before you want to bash, well, he didn't make it to a Big 12 championship game, and obviously they lost to Kansas at Arrowhead and all this other stuff. Do you remember where Colorado was 3 years ago? I mean, they were barely winning a game in college football.
Like 1 in 10
Yes.
kind of records.
3 feet in the ground.
You know what Prime did? Prime said, okay, cool. You guys don't have college football 25, so I can't go on and find a 1-star program and make it into a powerhouse. I'll just do it in real life.
Yeah.
Okay? I can't go and I can't turn a team like Army into a 5-star program on the game anymore because you guys don't want to bring it back just yet. I'll just go and do it in real life. And he made Jackson State a national championship contender at the FCS level. Yep. And he's sit here now and he makes Colorado a Big 12 contender there. And so now teams are going, well, where's Prime going to go? Is he going to go to USC? Is he going to go and be the next Texas coach? Is he going to make all these changes? Is he going to be the next Florida State coach? But then we start hearing, you know what? The only way I would go to the NFL is if I could coach, Shedeur.
Yeah.
Well, there's a possibility of that, Prime.
Yep.
There really kind of is a possibility of that.
Yeah, and it's thanks to a guy named Jerry Jones who has
both
no clue what he wants to do with his team moving forward.
It's a little bit of Jerry Jones. That's also, but he's got some options.
He does.
He's got some options.
Here's what's crazy is he is interested in the Raiders gig, as in Prime. Prime has called Vegas themselves, like, Las Vegas Raiders, can I help you? Yeah, can I talk to the owner, please? This is Prime. Like Prime the energy drink? Like, what are you talking about? No, this is Prime. You don't know who Prime is? And he's like, hey, man, I want to be y'all's next head coach. Like, he's the one that said it. He's called them. And then Jerry Jones, conversations have come on. There's multiple media outlets saying that Jerry and Deion Sanders have talked.
Oh, Deion's like, I like Boulder. I love this. I love everything. I think that's just he does not want to coach this team.
But at the same time, it's Deion. And it's the Dallas Cowboys. Now, look, never gonna lie. As a Braves fan, I'm a Deion Sanders guy. Like, I didn't know Deion Florida State. All right, I learned about Deion Florida State. I knew Deion Sanders Atlanta Braves. I knew Deion Sanders San Francisco 49ers. Atlanta Falcons, Dallas Cowboys, the cleats that all the kids are now wanting to rock. I had those. I had them in red, man. I so wanted them in the Dallas Cowboys blue, but they were always sold out. And I didn't like the black ones as much, so I went with the red ones. It had Deion's face underneath the shoe, like in a little air pocket. He's rocking the do-rag, and he had it. Like, man, it was legit. I think actually I can find those shoes now, like in China. Okay. Anyways, like that was me. And so I'm paying attention because I love Prime because he's a guy that you gravitate towards. But he's also a guy that if Dallas is a place that can look at this and go, you know what? We kind of look at ourselves as like the Alabama Crimson Tide of the NFL. Whereas if you're going to coach here, you've got to be able to handle the platform, okay? It's like what we talk about with the New York Giants and the New York Jets. You've got to be able to handle the media in this. And Prime is one of these guys, again, if you go back and you read a lot of stuff of like what Kobe and Michael Jordan's trainer did, is he's called a cleaner, okay? Mm-hmm. A cleaner is a person that doesn't say, oh, I know I can win and I know that I'm going to have to do this. A cleaner is a person that says, I'm going to play my game and you have to figure out how to stop me.
Yep. Right.
That's what Prime is with the media. Is like, I don't have to wonder about handling the Dallas media or handling the New York media. They've got to wonder how to handle me.
Yeah.
And so with Prime, okay, like he's the one person that I could actually see, you know what? I could see him rolling in and all the players gravitating towards him. But then this connects to the Shadir Sanders thing.
Well, I think it also connects to the way that he has been able to kind of start as a coach. He started at Jackson State, and that was a very small school that he could really start and start training at. And then it gets to the point where, oh, hey, I'll pick up Colorado, one of the worst teams out of 135 teams. Yeah. Then he's going to go to the NFL. I don't see him jumping straight into the most lovable job that you could get in the NFL. I would see him more going to the Raiders and building that organization up.
The problem with that thought process is that Dion is one of the few people in the coaching realm that has the connection to the Dallas Cowboys like he does.
And I understand
that's the only reason.
And another thing too, before I answer that, Dion's probably one of the only people on the planet right now that could actually be in that head coaching spot and deal with Jerry Jones.
He doesn't want to have
as a whole.
He doesn't want two egos. He doesn't want to have somebody else telling him exactly what to do. He wants that control.
But here's the other part of this: is Jerry Jones is the type of person that there are very, very few people that I think that he would listen to, like he would Prime, because you know why? Because anytime that Jerry wants to say something, he has to realize that now if you're bringing Prime back in, you're also bringing a Dallas Cowboys legend back in.
Yes.
And I mean, this is a major deal. This is like Mike Vrabel going to be the head coach of the New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. He was there for the great times. He was there for the Super Bowls. He knows what it takes. The whole team is when you think of those 90s Cowboys teams, you think of the big three, and then you also think of Prime on the opposite side. Like pardon the phrase, because he said it, he went to Dallas and he brought his swagger with him. Mm-hmm. Like he didn't have to gain swag. He brought it with him. Right. Like that was him. And so if Jerry is one of these guys, Prime could be one of the few players that could become a head coach, and he go back and go, all right, I'll listen to him. Like, I will listen to him because I know he has the personality to lead men. And look, don't get it wrong. My wife actually, speaking of my wife, since she texted me a second ago, she sent me a video this morning of Prime talking to his Colorado players. And in it, he's given all these rules that he's going to have, for the team. Like, they can't wear slides. They got to make sure they're sitting in the front of the class, all that. But then he also added for all the seniors, hey, look, I know you guys are getting paid, and I know we're paying you. But if you are making F's and D's, you are now affecting me. Mm-hmm. So that means that now I'm going to affect not just your play on the field, I'm affecting your check. We know you're getting checks. I'm the one that controls them and makes sure you guys get the checks. So I'm going to treat you like pros since you're getting paid like pros. And he's already been coaching this Colorado team very similar to the way that you coach an NFL program, because that's where you're going to get the players. Okay. You want to talk about, everybody makes fun of Will Levis and the joking around on the field because he was joking with Ridley after the catch and throwing the money sign up and stuff. That's what Prime knows. Money is going to be what talks. This is the one guy that, I wanted him at Auburn. Yeah. I think Cowboy hat in Auburn was stupid for not even thinking about this, because you want to put a spotlight on your city. You put Prime on there, and he's been able to do it at Jack State. Mm-hmm. He's been able to do it at Colorado. Heck, at this point in time, bring him to Tennessee and just let's see if he can turn the worst team in the NFL around to a Super Bowl contender, because he made two other teams a conference champion contender as well as a national championship contender. If the man can do it, then, heck, let's send him to Carolina. You want a real challenge in the NFL? You go to Carolina and you put them as a playoff contender.
Yeah, I think just because of the success that he's had, and I don't want to be that guy that continues to doubt what Deion Sanders could do as a head coach, but I think that he would need to start a little bit smaller than just hopping right into the NFL. Maybe even have a college football job within the SEC or the ACC to help him kind of bolster just a little bit more. But I don't know. I would see a little bit more time in between him getting an NFL job and him finally getting a winning record for this Colorado Buffaloes team before he is winning games in the NFL.
If it was anybody else but him, I would agree with you. Like if it was anybody else but him.
So you're full in. You're all in.
Oh
on
no,
the Deion.
look, I have sat here, I've sat in Nashville, I've been on the air in Montgomery, I've been Birmingham, wherever it is, and I've said I wanted Prime as the head coach for Auburn. I wanted him there. The moment that it got contacted, that he was being contacted by Auburn and there was a potential of him getting interviewed for it, I was like, sign me up right now because this man is going to put a spotlight on your team. But I also think because Deion is so confident in who he is as a person and a coach, and because he has such a good thing at Colorado, he can walk into that meeting with Jerry Jones and go, all right, cool, here's what I want. Either you back the off and let me coach this team, or I'm not doing it. So you got one of the two options. You want me as the head coach, then you let me and somebody else who's going to be your quote-unquote general manager, whatever it is, you let us do this, and you sit there and you listen because we know what we're talking about, or I can go back to Colorado. I don't care because I'm building something there, and I'm good. I can go back there. So, and then it's on Jerry Jones's plate. Like, if it's anybody else but Prime, I would say this thing has. But the other part is the Shadir side. And the other part is that we know that Prime said he would only go to the NFL if he had the opportunity to coach his son. The problem is that Dallas has the number 12 overall pick.
Yep.
The Raiders, on the other hand, they're a little bit higher up. It's more of a likelihood that they could be drafting him if they were to move up a spot or two. But now you start to look and go, all right, if Prime is so hung up on wanting to coach his son and wanting his son to be on his team, and he's becoming the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, does that now mean that Dallas would be looking to move up? And there's really only one of two options that you could potentially be looking at when you're talking about wanting to draft a quarterback, because unless things change, which seriously, Titans, you really just need to go with Will Campbell.
Yeah, please.
Really, you just need to go with Will Campbell. But if you're looking at moving up to a spot to make sure that you get Shadur, then you need to do one or two. You need Titans or you need Browns. But both of those teams are on the quarterback market, and we know who their quarterback is in Dallas. So you would think his name would be on the table, right?
I would say most definitely. I would say at this point in his career, I think if you're going to get rid of Mike McCarthy, you're going to also need to start restarting your offense as well.
And look, I'm not a Dak Prescott fan. I'm not. Yeah. I can't remember if it was on the air or off the air, but I remember telling you I think that he's maybe a top 15 quarterback in the NFL, maybe. I've never been a fan of Dak. To me it's a clutch thing. I don't know why. No. It's a clutch thing. I just don't see him, kind of like what we're talking about with Sam Darnold. Key situations, making the big thing that I could say, you know what, that guy's going to be it. But you know what, at this point in time, I'll take a top 15 quarterback over what we got in the Titans locker room at this point in time. I mean, I would. I mean, look, I would much rather have a top 15 quarterback than a 45.
Guy will get to the playoffs at least.
I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. Like, all right, then that's where I'm going is I'm not a fan, but if he's my option over the option that we currently have, then give me him. So I would be okay if you drop back to 12. But the problem is with the Titans dropping back to 12, that gets you your quarterback if you trade for Dak, but you still have other issues like the offensive line that you need to look at, like the defensive line that you need to look at. Because even a guy like Abdul Carter, who's going to be a defensive end in the NFL, he may be going 5 or 6. So even at 12, you're not going to be able to get there. You're going to be able to get a piece. You may be able to get like the number 2 wide receiver or the number 2 offensive lineman, but is that worth dropping all the way back to 12 to get your quarterback?
Yeah, definitely an interesting conversation altogether. I mean, this entire segment was all about, it started with Deion Sanders and his son, of course. Yeah. And this is all, of course, speculation because I haven't even seen him coach any other quarterback.
No, you haven't. No, that's it.
That is true. Yeah.
Look,
Who knows? This guy might suck whenever he gets to the NFL.
and that's the same thing that we've talked about. That's what we've talked about with Bill Belichick whenever he had Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, again, outside of Tom Brady, the man coached Drew Bledsoe for a couple of games, say a few, but a season. He coached him, and then from there on out, it was him and Tom Brady. Yeah. Like, you look at Andy Reid, and you know that Andy Reid's been able to coach Donovan McNabb. Yep. He's been able to make those guys winner. But the time that he's been a champion, he's been with Patrick Mahomes. No doubt. So those questions are going to pop up in this, but you need both to do it, because a team just doesn't win the NFL Super Bowl without a good quarterback outside of the Baltimore Ravens.
Exactly.
Literally everybody else that wins the Super Bowl, you have a good quarterback. And don't even bring up Eli, because Eli was a good quarterback. Yeah. He just wasn't an amazing quarterback.
I'd say he wasn't a great
He was good enough to beat Tom Brady twice.
I mean, apparently his dream was to be a kicker, so we'll see how good that happens.
You know what? That's pretty funny. I do like that.
My Giants friends will never let me forget that.
Yeah, that he won 2 Super Bowls?
That he beat Tom Brady twice.
Yeah. Beat him twice.
It was definitely interesting both
One
times.
in Phoenix, one in Indy.
Well, there's a few coaches that are definitely on the block when it comes to the Cowboys job, but of course, there are other jobs within the NFL that are available. We'll finish off with that when we get back. And also, phone lines open to you. A little bit left for you guys to get in at 256-576.
97.7.
The number to get in to the Morning Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
It's time to get your family into boating. The Huntsville Boat Show is back January 16th through the 19th at BBC. Shop, compare, and save thousands on your family's dream boat. Hundreds of new boats to purchase on site. Shop pontoons, wake surf boats, fishing boats, and more. Visit HuntsvilleBoatShow.com.
I'm Al Roker, and here's what's happening in your neck of the woods. Americans are boating responsibly. They know that on average, 2 people lose their lives and 9 are injured in recreational boating accidents every day. So they're wearing their life jackets, taking safe boating courses, leaving the alcohol on the dock, and of course, always checking the weather. You can learn more at www.uscgboating.org. The U.S. Coast Guard and I remind you, please boat responsibly.
It's time to get your family into boating. The Huntsville Boat Show is back January 16th through the 19th at BBC. Shop, compare, and save thousands on your family's dream boat. Hundreds of new boats to purchase on site. Shop pontoons, wake surf boats, fishing boats, and more. Visit HuntsvilleBoatShow.com.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
It's bowl season on ESPN Radio, including a college football playoff and national championship game.
electricity, the atmosphere.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the College Football Playoff National Championship, presented by AT&T. Coverage begins Monday, January 20th at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
It's the beauty of college football.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship in insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat, and that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
All right, final segment, best segments on 97.7 ESPN The Zone coming up today at 12. Here in a little over an hour, the Tom Abraham Show. Immediately following that is Paul. Then you get The Drive, and then it is Alabama basketball as they are getting ready to host Ole Miss tonight down at Coleman.
Oh, yeah.
And so you'll be able to listen to that on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And the Havoc Hour tonight, 6 o'clock on WZZN TV.
You're not going to want to miss this.
No. John, we're going to get John on the ice. By the way, bring your wireless mics. So we get John on the ice. We're going to get him on there. We don't know if he's just going to be interviewing players. We don't know if he's going to be like walking around taking a puck to the face. Don't really know what this is going to be. How's your insurance doing? You doing good?
I just re-upped.
Oh, thank God.
Good.
Oh, that's a good sign for everybody.
Nice.
All right, so because again, we'll get Buster after you, and so this is going to be a little bit different, because I'm a planner. Mm-hmm. John knows I'm a planner. Bailey knows. Like we plan out so much stuff. And it's one of these things now that we're getting closer to the Havoc Hour, and I'm sitting here going, I don't have a plan. Like there's no plan because we are literally going to be off the cuff all night long for the entire hour, maybe hour plus.
But yeah, you say all night long. I'm just like, this is only going to be an hour, right? And I'm thinking, I don't know if we're going to be able to contain this in 1 hour.
Well, no, and that's the other thing is because it's on WZZN TV, it's scheduled for only 6 to 7.
We can do whatever.
If we get somebody and it's 6:58, I mean, we literally can go longer if we want to.
It's the all-star show. I mean, that's just what it is.
I mean, so I've got my Havoc jersey ready to go. I've got it over in the bag. I've also got cold gear because even sitting down on the bench last night with Moulton as we were coming up with the plan for today's show and for what we were going to do for the Havoc Hour, I got a little bit chilly and I said, okay, I gotta make sure I got the cold gear ready to go because it's still going to be ice and we're still going to be there for an hour plus on the ice and I don't need to get sick.
Yeah.
So
definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah, don't recommend it.
Hopefully I do get on the ice so then I can sweat a little bit so then I'm not as cold.
We're not asking you to go on a power play.
No, I want to get on the ice. I want to be able to get some video of these guys.
Hey John, we want you to go on that penalty kill. Go for it.
Because I don't know. I mean, I know we got some connections over there, and I appreciate all the help that they give us. But at the same time, it's like who's willing to get on the ice and get some of that footage right up close and personal with some of these guys. And out of all the times to do it, I feel like the All-Star matchup is the one to do it.
Yeah,
with.
so it's going to be at 6 o'clock tonight, WZZN TV. You'll be able to watch it on YouTube. We're going to post it on Facebook as well. It'll also be on X, all of those places where you can be able to watch it if you are not a season ticket holder and cannot get into the VBC tonight, because the skills competition is just for the season ticket holders.
Yeah, yeah. And you know that place is still going to be packed.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
look,
there's like, I don't know, a couple thousand season ticket holders this season.
yeah, they just announced a few seconds ago that Bluey Night on Friday nights are just sold out.
Well, everyone wants to see Bluey.
Well, absolutely they do. And if my daughter was in the car right now, I would sing it for you, because she dances to Bluey every single time that the song plays.
Well,
We all love Bluey.
Well, you're telling me the Havoc sold out another night? What a surprise.
It's a shocker. They've only been doing it for like a year.
I know, right?
But, so now I think the next game that you have a potential of getting into may be actually the Wiener Dog Chase Night, which is going to be coming up like January 26th.
I need to see that.
Bandy, me and you, let's get it. Let's
do
go.
it.
Yeah, so-
January 26th.
Yeah, so there you go, John. Race the Wiener Dogs. How about we put you on the ice for that one? How about that? If anything, I really want to see some of the Havoc players do the Coke can race. That's what I want to see.
That would be cool.
Get them in the Diet Coke, Coke Zero, and Coke, and have them race down the ice.
Here's a caveat. If I race a wiener dog and I beat it, can I keep the wiener dog?
He does when he wants a dog.
I would love a wiener dog.
He wants a dog.
I would love a wiener dog.
Specifically a wiener dog, or just
a dachshund? Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah.
So Yahoo
Any kind of
Sports, just moving on now.
Got that dog in you.
Just got that dog.
And it's terrified.
Yahoo Sports is reporting that the AFCA convention that's happening in Charlotte has a little bit of a interesting topic of conversation, being faking injuries.
Oh,
which I guarantee you, if John gets even sort of burnt tonight, he's going to fake an injury on the ice. He's just going to drop and say his hammy hurts.
You
He's gonna
don't
fake
know
it.
me.
He gonna fake it.
You don't know me. I'm gonna go the distance with some of these.
He's gonna
guys.
look over there to the bench and say, "Come on, need somebody to come get me," and then he'll go back over and be like, "I'm good. I'm good to go." College football is talking about getting rid of that, and in a way that if a player fakes an injury or gets injured on the play, quote unquote, they are going to have to spend the rest of the drive on the sidelines unless the team uses their timeout.
Well, I feel like there's got to be a mastermind to this plan. I feel like somebody's got to be behind this, and somebody who is bombastic and very loud about his opinions. Who might that be? Who might have brought this thing up?
Nick Saban?
No.
Oh,
Nick Saban would never.
Oh, Nick Saban wouldn't bring up things you need to change in college football. Never. It's literally the running joke for SEC Media Days for a decade. All right, so what's Coach Saban's platform? Like he's running for office.
Maybe a
What's his
disciple.
platform?
Maybe a disciple of Nick Saban.
No, it is absolutely. This is 1,000% generated towards Lane Kiffin. And look, I'm not going to say that Lane Kiffin is in the wrong for doing this, because if there's a rule or if there's a way to get around something and doing something and you figure it out, again, Dan Lanning didn't cheat to beat Ohio State the first time.
No.
He just found a rule that he was able to expose. Was able to stretch it out, and the NCAA hopped on that sucker quickly. That's the reason why they got blown out in the second time. So it was. So yes,
a little concerningly quickly.
Absolutely, it was over way too soon. But yes, his coaches could only reinstate a player if an injured player is sidelined for the drive, unless that team uses one of their timeouts. It's one of the things that is supposed to be on the agenda today in trying to take this out of the football game.
Okay, all right. That'd be interesting. It's kind of like if you ice the puck, you're not allowed to change anybody in and out.
Yes, which there was a period of time, again, still learning rules. I didn't realize that. I had no idea of that.
Well, good thing you're playing the NHL game now, because you'll learn a lot of that stuff.
Yes.
It's interesting because it is something that I feel like needs to be brought up a little bit more, because there have been a lot of injuries, quote-unquote injuries, that aren't actually injuries. They stop the clock, and sometimes they don't go towards a penalty depending on what time you do it.
Well, at the same time as well, like we've talked about things, and I know we'll talk more about it once the national championship game happens next Monday, but how many things are we talking about in sports and in college football that needs to be changed between the lines? I mean, everything that we talk about needs to be changed is all outside of the game itself.
Right.
Like, we're talking about NIL. We talk about the transfer portal. We're talking about the way that the college football playoff could be better, and the seeding and all that. Those are all things off the field that we're discussing which, yes, are some of the bigger topics. But as far as on the field, the fake injuries thing could possibly be one of the biggest ones. I'm trying to think of if there is another big problem on the field that we are seeing in college football.
I enjoy
Refs.
the game.
The ref sucking is part of it.
You're always going to get that.
But also, that's just kind of tradition at this
Well,
point.
no, and at the same time, look, if we're starting to have more and more football games and more college football games, you do need more and more referees, but you need them to be good. But you're also expecting these guys to get done with their job on a Friday night and, at 5 p.m. and then hop on a plane and go somewhere and then be able to expect them to be 100% and fully focused on that.
Right.
It's kind of hard to do.
But what I do like, though, is how they're talking about using a timeout for, because, with the stoppage time, you fake an injury, you're essentially giving a timeout to your team anyway to slow down the offense, slow down any kind of offense or defense against you, get regrouped. So I like that give and take. It's like, all right, you fake an injury, you got to give up one of your timeouts. That's essentially what you did anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but faking an injury, there is a little bit of a silver lining to that. But of course, we all know whenever somebody might just stretch it out a little bit.
Can your quarterback fake an injury? Because Auburn needs that. Havoc Hour tonight, 6 o'clock from the VBC.
Can we stop the fake slides while we're at it?
Nope.
Okay.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock solid